Hi everyone, and welcome to the launch of the Cabrinha 01 collection. I'm Pete Cabrinha, and we're here at the Cabrinha Design Center on the island of Maui. Joining me today is Dave Haslow, brand manager for Cabrinha, and Lars Moltrup, our esteemed product manager. What an amazing year it has been. We've just recently launched our all-new foil, surf, and crosswing program, and here we are, at it again. Today, we're excited to bring you yet another collection of new gear that we're sure will inspire your surf and wind sports cravings. Over the last year, surf and wind sports have taken on a more prominent role in all of our lives. What was already a healthy obsession has evolved into a rock-solid collaboration between our state of mind and our athletic desire. A mutually beneficial relationship, if you will. Equal partners, one strictly tied to the other. Because, regardless of whatever's happening on land, our time on the water is precious, sacred even. It belongs only to us. It's ours to choose how we want to spend it, and the gear that we choose to ride has never mattered more. So this season, we've expanded your choices and have sharpened your tools. We bring you more ways to tap into the surf and wind sports, independently or to combine them into many new hybrid scenarios that are now well within your reach. So what do you say, guys? Let's kick this off?
Let's do it.
All right. The 01 Cabrinha collection is across the board designed to broaden your performance options in a wide range of products. We've pushed the boundaries of light wind performance on any type of board and upped the ante on performance free riding with fresh, cutting-edge new designs. The Cabrinha 01 kite range consists of 5 performance kites spanning the entire spectrum of riding disciplines and uses.
The 01 collection is one of many upcoming product releases, accelerating us into an exciting new decade of innovation at Cabrinha. Take the all-new Contra series. The popularity of the Contra cannot be overstated. Its ability to extend any kite quiver well into the light wind arena is unmatched. This season, we've expanded the Contra's range to bring its legendary efficiency deep into the foil boarding realm. We did this by a dynamic morphing process, which blends Contra from 3 struts to 1 strut as the kite sizes get smaller. The Contra's largest sizes maintain its 3-strut design for use with any type of board in any discipline. Its fully supported 3-strut frame keeps it driving forward when using more traditional selection of kiteboards, mainly twin tips and surfboards. The smaller sizes in the range utilize a 1-strut design to provide the ultimate light wind performance for foil boarding. The single-strut version of the Contra is built on its platform of efficiency and range, while adding featherweight bar control. With its single strut, the Contra 1-strut is lighter and more nimble, allowing for use with much smaller kite sizes to maximizing foil boarding's true potential. The Contra 1-strut superior drift characteristics allow for low angles of attack while on foil, and the rear line tension maximizes steering impulse even when you're depowered. This dynamic kite design shift will put an optimized Contra light wind kite in your hands, whether you ride a twin tip, surfboard, or a foil board. So Lars, why do we have different strut configurations on the Contra kite?
Well, it essentially comes down to drag from the board you're riding. So on the 3-strut Contra, it is optimized as a stable platform for higher drag vessels, if you will, twin tip surfboards. And once you go down to something like a foil board where you have a minimum of drag, you don't need the same stability, but the focus will be lightweight and nimble, fast steering, and so it's optimized for foiling.
Yeah, and I think secondly, the boards like foil boards, for example, can ride with a lot smaller kite in lighter winds, and so whereas on a twin tip you might need to really power up and have something in a sort of 13 range and above, whereas foil board, perhaps an 11 meter might be your biggest kite.
Which is interesting because actually you can say that in the same wind conditions on a twin tip you might ride a 15 meter, but you'd be riding a 9 meter on a foil board. So the Contra range goes in the same wind speed, but with 2 different types of vessels.
So it's the same light wind efficiency model, just broken into boards. Exactly. 2 different types of boards. Yeah.
What do you think was one of the benefits of doing a 1-strut? What kind of set the goals of making the smaller sizes in 1-strut?
I mean, again, it's really the fact that you have, if you can say, less supported canopy, but what that does is that it makes the kite steer much faster, and it's able to generate more power because it steers faster and it's lighter weight. So you get more power out of a smaller package. The most versatile kite in the Cabrinha range has been given a performance boost with this 01 collection. With such a dynamic range of use, the all-new Moto version 2 has increased its ability to perform in a wider range of conditions. In a 2-year redesign process, we've been able to supercharge the Moto with forward drive. Thrust is now generated more effortlessly, and the kite's ability to climb uphill has been greatly improved. This all translates into an infinitely more crisp and direct performance freeride kite with immediate response and control. We've gone through great lengths to deliver the lightest bar pressure with the most engaged steering while still providing positive bar feedback for a very predictable kite. To help with the forward drive, the version 2 has had a redesign not only in its unique profiles, but also in the arc shape, where we reduced the coning to allow it to fly faster through the wind window. The final stage of redesign in all our kites is the bridle. Here we took a balanced approach to allow us to maintain the light bar feel while giving more control through varying angles of attack. All in all, giving a far more refined and versatile kite. So Dave, who is this kite for?
I think this kite is for anyone who wants like a real versatile all-around kite. So if I take myself for instance, so I like the feeling of a 3-strut kite over a 5-strut personally, because it gives a little bit more maneuverability. I also find that when I'm traveling, I want a kite which kind of suits any kind of condition which it throws at me, and for me the Moto is that kite.
It can do a little bit of everything essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of like the jack of all trades, but I definitely find as I got older, I kind of like the lighter bar feel in kites as opposed to in the old days. So for me, the Moto is the one. I can have a longer session on the water. I get more time riding with maybe a little less feeling on my arms. So it's kind of nice. It's a more friendly kite to ride.
So Lars, you mentioned that it's got a lot more forward drive and the ability to climb uphill quicker. You want to explain what that actually means?
Yeah, sometimes you can have a kite that can be quite sensitive to bar input or bar trim. Where we've now gotten to the point with the Moto where the reduced coning and the changes in the profile makes it want to fly forward. So it's less sensitive to trim and making sure that it always want to go forward, which also makes it better for jumping. Even if you wanted to, which is what Dave was saying, it's a jack of all trades. It also actually improves the unhook performance. So it does a lot of things, but really the fundamental thing is that it makes it an easier kite to ride, more forgiving.
Ringing in the new decade would be incomplete without speaking about the kite that defines the sport of kite surfing, the 01 Switchblade. The kite which has no performance boundaries or limits, yet is incredibly simple to fly. Sitting at the top center of our performance range of kites, the Switchblade is the pro's choice for big, lofty airs and sharp, precise handling. The Switchblade is a shape-shifting kite that can be passed from discipline to discipline and performed to the highest level of expectation. This kite embodies the spirit of breaking new ground and having fun while doing it. Power, control, and a massive wind range and a positive bar feel. It's no wonder why the Switchblade has the highest rider satisfaction rating in the business. So Lars, the Switchblade is an apex performer in big air. Why is that?
I mean, fundamentally the 5 struts of the Switchblade provides an extremely solid platform. Even when you're overpowered, the kite is responsive, stable, and that's what allows you to go out and boost even while you're super overpowered.
Another big thing on this kite is, like you say, in the wind range and the stability. One thing we can't forget is it's held the world speed record. It's like as a production kite when we did that thing, and that's testament to the 5-strut solid frame of this. It was insane winds when you rode that.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know, the one thing that I think most people figure out right away about this kite is the fact that it's got performance on both ends. It's got the low-end performance, it gets you up and riding quickly, but it's got the high-end performance when you start getting overpowered. Those 5 struts keep everything intact and allow it to be controllable in the top end of the spectrum.
Which is what allowed it to win the King of the Air.
That's it. You can just load it up when you're super powered up and send it.
And it's a kite you can put pretty much anyone on. That's the crazy thing with this kite. It's an incredible machine.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, nothing.
With the resurgence of wing surfing, there are now many new ways to fly. And the all-new Mantis from Cabrinha is our most versatile way to take flight. The Mantis is a streamlined, lightweight, but extremely rigid handheld wing that will power up any foil board, surfboard, skate, or snowboard. It has a simple inflated frame and a single strut to keep things light and tight. The Mantis is ideal for surfing. While fully depowered, it'll fly perfectly wherever you place it, or you can steer it through your turns with our power steering front handle. To focus on the distinctly different riding styles and preferences, the Mantis comes in two different options. The windowed options, with generous and strategically placed windows, keeps your range of visibility clear so you can focus on the task at hand. For those looking for absolute lightest and minimalist design, the Mantis is also available in a windowless option. But what makes the Mantis an absolute joy to fly is its tightly controlled frame. Its stiffness allows you to power right through the gusts or take to the air. Any way you want to fly it, the Mantis will deliver performance and predictability in an incredibly simple to use wing. So Dave, how does the Mantis differ from the X2?
I think one of the key things when you look at it straight off the bat is we've got a double strut on the X2 and we've got a single strut on the Mantis. I think that's probably the biggest change you can instantly see. And that gives you the ability, you've got an infill panel, it gives you the ability for this kite to really perform in the waves and downwind where you can shut it down by just letting it flag out. So that's probably the main focus people notice. And then windows there's that ability as well. We have that option there. So.
Yeah, and the X2 obviously with its double strut supports the canopy even when depowered. So it's a much more powerful wing. That being said, the Mantis is also very powerful, but it allows you to dump the power more efficiently because the canopy can blow down and it becomes easier to surf the wave and focus on that.
Yeah, the one thing I notice about the Mantis when I'm surfing is that when you grab the front handle and you just drop it down into the wind, it's a feather in your hand and it's fully depowered. So you can really just focus on the surfing, and this thing is just along for the ride. And anytime you need to power it back up, you just pull it back up and sheet it back in, and you're back in the game.
Right, and speaking of the handle, you mentioned it before. It has a very rigid connection to the strut. So it's really easy to maneuver the wing even when you're on the wave or going on a downwinder, or it just has very positive feedback. Combined with our wide span handles that we've also put on the Mantis, it's a very user-friendly wing.
Yeah, those wide span handles are amazing because the thing with wing surfing is that you only have a single boom, but this thing has a lot of pitch on either side. It's got a lot of yaw actually. And you need control over that yaw by being able to rotate your wrists, and the wide span handles give you a lot of that kind of control.
Right, and on the Mantis we've put our newest version of that, which has some shape to it. It's not a perfectly round shape, which gives you a much more ability to articulate the wing. It gives you much more control.
Yeah, let's talk about the windows. The Mantis has windows, and there's a lot of talk about windows versus no windows. When would you want windows?
Well, for me, anytime you go out into to a spot where there's a lot of people, we firmly recommend that you get the one with windows. When we go on downwind runs, it is quite nice to have the ultimate lightweight and the minimalist wing to fly, and so in those kind of circumstances, I would use the one without windows.
So at this point, it's just a preference.
It's really just a preference, and even the window version, we use a very high quality TPU material, which has very low elongation, which means that it supports the shape of the wing very well compared to some PVC options that we see in the market.
Yeah, and the windows on the Mantis are strategically placed so that you can actually fold your wing in such a way where you're not folding through the windows.
Correct. This is something we've seen in the market, and actually the wide span handles ensures that you cannot fold your wing right where the windows are. So they help maintain a a better performing wing over a longer time.
So with windows, maximum visibility, but the ability to still fold it down to a small package and transport it.
Right.
In many ways, the board you ride is a mirror extension of who you are. It's an extension of your personality, your approach to your craft. And from the time your fins hit the water, your board becomes a seamless extension of your body. In order to get the most out of your kite surfing aspirations, it's important to have the right tool for the job. This is why we offer such a wide range of performance twin tips. There's a board that's perfect for every genre of kiteboarding, and when you pair it with your favorite Cabrinha kite, you unlock the secret to making every session your own.
We start with a Paulownia wood core. We wrap the perimeter in durable CNC cut ABS material. Once the core and rail is prepared, we CNC machine the board shape to extremely tight tolerances to ensure that all Cabrinha boards live up to the performance you would expect. Aggressive tip channels are added, which are needed for explosive pop, while rail shaping provides you with maximum edge control. We then press the cores in our heated and cooled molds together with high quality fibers and top sheets. This season, we have incorporated the creative artwork of Patrick Dunn. Patrick has his fingerprints on all the Cabrinha graphic material, but this special collection takes it a step further. Each board features a composite collage which personifies life on the North Shore of Hawaii.
Patrick's Haiku Maui studio is located in the same historical pineapple cannery factory as where I started Cabrinha's first custom board facility over 20 years ago. The Haiku cannery is the birthplace of Maui's surfing industry, and it's nice to have this full circle connection with all Cabrinha products. It's this level of soul and relevant detail that ties Cabrinha to surfing's rich history and roots.
Let's talk about the newly redesigned XCal, our premier freestyle and freeride model. The XCal has an all-new shape that takes this board further into the realm of unhooked freestyle. It builds on the strong foundation of the Excalibur model, which has taken countless podium finishes by keeping the core shape true, but focusing on adding even higher level of control and pop. This has been accomplished by the volume distribution and channeling in the tips and rail. The wood version provides the absolute smoothest ride, even in rough, choppy water, while the full carbon version delivers enhanced pop and immediate reflex. Dave, who is the target rider for the XCal?
For the XCal board, you're looking for a freestyle kind of guy, someone who's looking for either is competing at that high level of freestyle and wants the ultimate performance board, or someone who has like aspirations and wants to get to that level, and they're just looking for the ultimate high level, like fast riding, like a lot of grip board.
And why do we have a wood and a carbon version?
For me, there's a difference in the two. It's like the carbon, if I was living in a place where I've got like flat water and I'm really 100% focused on the freestyle aspect, the carbon gives you that reflex and that pop, which you don't really get with any other kind of construction board. It gives you that extra like spring off the water. If you live somewhere where there's like a little bit more choppy water, then that's where I kind of go for the wood version, because I find it absorbs a little bit more of that. It's maybe for someone like myself a little bit nicer on the knees than a carbon board would have been. But you still get that performance you want, just maybe a little less reflexy kind of pop when you take off for a trick.
So the Paulownia core, smoother ride, dampening in choppy water.
More forgiving essentially.
Yeah.
And you know, even though it is dedicated for freestyle and freestyle riders, I'd also say that it really is a diverse sport, and if what you're looking for is a lot of grip, even for going big in big air, if that's what you're doing, this board is also great for that, because it allows you to hold that edge, load up your kite, and really boost as high as you can.
So what about riding style between like boots and foot straps? How do you feel this board tailors towards? Does it go towards more one than the other, or does it kind of balance between the both?
I mean, riding boots allows you to ride a wider board and to control a wider board, which essentially allows you to dig in deeper and load up more. And the width to length ratio, the XCal is a wider board. So for boots, you know, that's a natural direction if you're doing freestyle. But it works very well for straps as well. I ride it myself with the H2O binding, and it works a charm. In some cases, you might just go a size smaller.
This past fall, we launched the all-new Cab Fusion foil ecosystem. The Cab Fusion is a high-performance modular system that is future-proof. Modular means it can be configured to perform to your personal riding style, preference, or riding discipline. In our latest addition to the Fusion system, the DA850 foil kit brings ease of use and accessibility to the forefront of design. Designed to make entry to the sport of foiling easier to learn, but with the benefit of a highly maneuverable and forgiving foil, the DA850 is a go-to foil for any kiting activity.
I'm genuinely proud and extremely excited about the products we've developed for you this season. It just keeps getting more and more interesting with every new collection. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like more information about anything you've seen here today, visit your nearest Cabrinha dealer or check us out at cabrinha.com. Until then, we hope to see you on the water. Aloha.